It's July 3rd and Test Track is back at Epcot. The question now is, was the update worth the wait? Is it mid or is it great? And will you and your family have a good time waiting in line for the attraction Epcot needed desperately for summer, maybe crowds? Hello folks, and welcome back to That Park Place. It is the month of July, and that means that every single weekday I am going to be here giving you theme park news you need to know, going back to my WDW roots, eh? Let's dive in, click the like button. I'm going to explain whether or not Test Track 3.0 is worth it. First of all, Epcot is a theme park in need of attractions. That's no surprise to anybody. And like all the non-castle Disney World theme parks, the celebration of culture and technology has sparingly little to do, unless you're interested in buying very expensive things or drinking very expensive things, or maybe just dining on more reasonably priced things. Not that they're cheap, but more reasonably priced. And by the way, I recommend the barbecue place over there at the American Pavilion if you're trying to save. Good barbecue, not terrible pricing. That's the result, of course, of all the work on Epcot over the last decade, as it's turned into a giant retail space with a few attractions sprinkled in. To give you an idea of just how lacking Epcot is in terms of attractions, and I'm reviewing Test Track this way because you can't review it in a vacuum, folks. We got to review it given where it exists, where it's at. And where it's at is a place that needs rides badly. Epcot only has 10 actual rides, not including Test Track, 11 including it. Studies have shown that guests need to ride 11 rides in a single day in order to feel that they've gotten their money's worth. And Disney's done these studies in the past. So with Test Track opening, if you ride every single thing there is to do at Epcot, well, you'll walk away feeling like that was money well spent. The problem, of course, is that that's not good enough. Theme parks have to have more than the bottom minimum number because you don't like every ride there is. And your grandmama does not like every ride that there is. Grandmama does not want to get on the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. It's a fantastic ride. One of the best that Disney has built in the last 10 years. That said, Grandmama does not want to be twisted and turned into double helixes. Okay? Grandmama does not like reverse launches. Grandmama wants It's a Small World with the grandbabies. You, as a teenager or a young 20-something, I know some of you out there are not, that age group, just play along for a minute. You, as a 20-something or a teenager, you want thrills, you want action. You don't want It's a Small World playing in your head over and over and over, the earworm that will never die. So what do you have to do? Well, theme parks have to try to put out 20-plus attractions. 25 is great. You got to have enough attractions that people can do what they want to do. They can ride the things they want to ride. And how many did we say again? 11. Now, I know some people out there put it at 8. I really think that's too low. 11's the magic number. People have got to ride that many rides to have a good time. Or at least to feel like, you know what? I spent my time wisely at this theme park. So Test Track. It's in a park that is desperate for attractions, even after they spent billions of dollars. The question is, who's going to enjoy this? Well, let's talk about it. First of all, I got to say it this way. I'm not a fan of Test Track's actual track layout. Never have been, and I'm not going to be, and I'm going to explain it in a way I think you'll understand. And they haven't changed anything about it. See, Test Track is like 75% dark ride, and then 25% quote-unquote speed run. The two are difficult to mesh, and there's no area for a big finale at the end of the speed run. So no matter what you do, you always have to end with the speed run as being the big climactic finish to the attraction. And the problem is that the speed run has never worked, doesn't work in terms of being a thrilling finale. Now, listen, if you're 5 years old, maybe, right? And if you're a grandmama who's riding with said 5-year-old, you love it because the 5-year-old loves it. But what's the problem? Why does it not work? And some of you out there, you like it, and you're saying, "Pro, come on, man, just quit being negative." Let me explain. If you go out to the Epcot parking lot, you're going to discover something out there. Besides people who are desperately trying to find a liquid because the blacktop is roasting them in the middle of the sun, okay, you're going to find something that brought them there. You're going to find automobiles. And guess what, folks? Guess what? Those automobiles often drove on the interstate to bring the families in their little happy minivans to the happiest place on earth. And those minivans, even the minivans, not just the Corvettes, not just the super fast Ferraris, of which there are very few at Disney World, but even the minivans were doing 70 miles per hour. And I will dare say, close your virgin ears if you are worried about this, folks. I think some of those minivans actually broke the speed limit and did 72 coming to Disney World. I know, scandal, right? But they did. Test Track maxes out at 65 miles per hour. It's a car that goes 65 miles per hour for the finale. You could stick your head out the window of your minivan and get the same experience without the 1 hour wait time, without all the heat, and without, standing next to some obnoxious kid who needs to wear deodorant and isn't yet in line at the attraction. So I'm sorry. To me, it's just not worth it. Can you blast off into outer space like you can in Space Mountain from the comforts of home? No, you can't. Can you ride through a town that's being ransacked by pirates anywhere in your local area? Probably not. Can you ride the wildest ride in the wilderness, a gone crazy locomotive traveling at high speeds through mountain areas of the desert? No, that's Big Thunder only. I can keep going and going. Point is, you can't experience the things that are in these other attractions, and therefore they're worth your time and your wait to do them. Test Track offers you, as the big climactic finish, less than what you already experience in your mundanity. So it just doesn't work. It never has to me. Now, some people enjoy it. I'm not trying to poo-poo you, in the words of Porky Pig. I'm not trying to poo-poo the idea. I'm just trying to say, if you wait for 2 hours for this brand new ride, you might be boo-hooing behind the scenes when you get off and say, that was it? All right, so let's talk about it, okay? What did they do with Test Track? Because set that aside, it's always been that way. It's always going to be that way so long as it stands. It's too expensive to change. Might not even be feasible. So what did they do? Well, gone are the days of designing your own car, which never really worked because the ride experience never changed. Now we're heading into the future. The issue here is, and I'm not trying to be negative, I will end up positive. Just to spoil the review, I'm going to end up positively, so don't dive out already. But the issue with the going in the future thing is that a lot of the stuff they're talking about in this ride and showing you is already being done by their main competitor. Of course, GM sponsors the attraction. Tesla's already doing a lot of this stuff, and maybe better, honestly. So Tesla released, I guess last week, a video of their very first vehicle that delivers itself. It drives out of the factory and just goes to the buyer's home. And that's coming. And it's already here. They already did it, right? So you've got some issues here in that the future is already here. And that means that it easily within 3 years, okay? Let's say that right now you disagree with me and this is very futuristic. Fine. In 3 years, come on. In 3 years, come on. It's not going to be. And that's the problem with quote unquote the future. It's the problem that always happens with Tomorrowland. It's the problem that happened with early Epcot, is that you simply can't outrace the future. It just keeps happening. You had to put it way out. If you want to do the future, you got to put it like 30 years out. And the problem with that, of course, is that people don't know what the future will be in 30 years. It's cool to pretend, but that gives you enough runway. This one's not. This one is a little bit dated from the get-go. Test Track is now about self-driving, automated safety, smart highways that recharge your car, and of all the futuristic things that are coming down the pike, I don't think that's one of them, because I don't think it's actually the way to charge your car smartly. I think it's a dumb idea to charge your car with the road. I won't get into the science of that and why it's just flat out more convenient to plug your car in somewhere. I won't get into it. And they sell the whole thing with an LED lighting pitch, okay? Overall, the dark ride aspect of the attraction is way, and I mean way better, smoother, and more interesting, even if the future concept is not put far enough out in the future, and thus this thing will be dated. All right? It's still way better than it was, and not by a little. There's one very significant upgrade in particular, which is the room that you're going to go into just before you burst into the quote-unquote speed finale. Had If that room had been the end of the attraction, this would be a true e-ticket, gotta ride it, no doubt about it. The problem with it being before the big ending is that it kind of loses a little bit being placed there. But again, there's no solution to that because they're not changing the track layout, and the track layout says once the speed run's over, you're done. It's over. There's no big room to do this in. But the fact that they got it in at all, you have to applaud the Imagineers for coming up with this. It really is. It really is a huge, huge upgrade. Okay? There are basically no changes, no improvements to the speed section finale. And, if you're 5 years old, if you're 8 years old, you're going to like it. If you're 20 and you've been driving cars, you're going to say, why? Now, all of that said, Epcot needs attractions. Test Track, to no one's surprise, just happens to be an attraction. As a thrill ride, it has always been kind of lackluster. As a dark ride, at best, it's average. My recommendation is that you enjoy this ride if it's under 40 minutes. I can't tell you to wait, a super long time. If it's 2 hours, come on. But that happens because Epcot doesn't have enough attractions. That said, if it's a half-hour wait, it's worth your time. Go enjoy it. I do believe that they made the most of the ride as it exists and that they should be applauded for it, even down to the headlights doing cute little animations. I mean, they really worked hard to get as much into a flawed system as they possibly can. And they succeeded. I only wish there was something more to make me recommend the ride beyond the polish that's been added. If you loved Test Track before, you'll probably think this version is awesome. If you had lesser thoughts about the attraction in the past, it's the same thing, just with way more shine, way more polish, but it's the ride. My only thing I really wish they would have considered is back in Test Track 1.0, the very first version, when it sent you through weather conditions. Yeah, I could go back for the Arctic blast on hot days in Florida. Please, Disney, listen to me on that. All right, folks, that's the Test Track review. Overall, it's a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It is probably the sum of its parts is probably better than average, but it's not Cosmic Rewind. It doesn't hold up compared to Epic Universe rides. It's simply not. But in Epcot, it's one of the best attractions. So what does that mean? It's a 7 out of 10. That's where I'll leave it, and I hope that's fair. Folks, this is what we do here on That Park Place and the WDW Pro channel, which if you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. We try to not be the cupcakers, the pixie dusters. Disney doesn't invite us to the early access media events. I don't care. We don't care. We just want to tell you what's true, okay? Now you know what to do when you go on vacation. You can go in and say, I know what that ride is. We're going to wait 30 minutes. I'm going to ignore Pro. We're going to wait an hour because I know we're going to love it. Or you can say, man, I sure am glad I listened to that. Now I know I can skip it. I'm not telling you which way you should go. I'm telling you, you have the info. And that's because you came right here to That Park Place. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And by the way, it's never been more important to click that notification bell. The code of YouTube is getting squirrely, shall we say. Anyway, folks, it's been a wonderful time spending time with you. Hope you're going to have a great day tomorrow. If you are living in the US of A, red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, it's true. Get out there and celebrate with some fireworks and keep all your fingers when it's done. You're going to need those things. Trust us. All right, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona,
Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian iced yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.